It's really weird. I'm so sorry. We're trying to work this out. I don't know what's happening with Instagram, but it's just not. Okay, so Slim. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so it's giving me. Now it won't give me Val. Only three guests can be in your. Wait. Oh,
We
fucking
good. We
hell.
good.
Thank you.
We good. We good. We gooch. We gooch. We
That
Ah.
good.
was annoying. What the hell was that?
So what ended up happening is I had to accept Mr. L's request to be in the live first, and then everybody else's came through. So
Okay.
It
you
wouldn't
see,
be three guys
that
and a
tells you you
girl
should
if
be on time. You should
Whatever.
come early. You need to come early.
I
They
was
trying to
trying
end the year
to.
all
I had
fucked up.
it took a decent amount of strength for me to get up and get ready. So
Oh, I'm so sorry. I take it back. I forgot that you're not feeling well. So I
it's-
apologize. I take it back.
Hey, you ain't
So
gotta
when you're
be here.
feeling better, you should come on time.
hey, in fairness, like the last two times, I was like one of the first people here.
Very true. Very
Touche.
true.
Touche.
My brothers, my loves, my family, my guys. What? It is the last live of the year. The timing is fortuitous, right before the end of the year and going into the new year. And I can't think of three better people to do the last live with. I'm super excited for this.
Hey.
We're
Word.
going to talk a
Yes.
bunch of shit and get into some personal things,
Oh boy.
you know? But let's kick it off as we always do. Welcome everyone. This is Three Guys and a Girl, your bi-weekly Wednesday live where we, run two jokes, talk about two serious topics, get into some shit, disclose some personal information about ourselves, and just kind of, chat with the public and let people know what's going on from the perspective of three men and one woman. So, of course, we've got Slim, Val, and from the mind of Mr. L. If y'all could personally introduce yourselves and let everyone know who you are, where they can find you, and all that good stuff.
Okay, with a way to end this fucking year, I am the genuine Slim the Savage. Slim stays scheming. I'm found on IG. That is my IG handle. I'm PR representing 973 Bobs. We are found on all streaming platforms. I also represent Foreplay Tonic, my man Mr. L, found in the bottom, well, my bottom corner. I'm not sure where he at with y'all. And my man Joyce Cruz. And I also do this with my crew. So thank you, and let's get into some shit. Let's end it right. Let's end it right.
All right, and next up
Yes.
we have.
What's going on, everyone? I just want to quickly say happy holidays. I hope that y'all enjoyed your Christmas. If y'all enjoy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is, blessings. Name is Val, dating underscore Gen YZ, dating for millennials and Gen Z. What I aim to do is to help you guys cultivate the healthy dating and relationship lives that you all deserve. Also do a podcast. It's called The Intricacies of Dating and Relationships. I'm so excited. It's about to come up. A tangent. I have to hit each and every one of you up, AJ, Mr. L, Slim, for some guidance. For some guidance.
Oh, I
Because
thought
you
it was
guys
going to be
have
guests, just
uh,
guidance. That's it.
Thank
for
you.
guidance
Sure.
and
I'm
being
all
honest as
excited
well.
and thinking you're talking
Yeah,
about guidance, not guests.
guidance too.
Okay.
We'll be lead you
All
down the right
right.
path. God damn.
Right?
Yeah, I trust y'all. I trust y'all. But yes, intricacies of dating and relationships is going to be on all streaming platforms, all that good stuff. Also do sessions as well. You already know solos, couples, understanding your dating scene, whatever it is. DM me, respond to all DMs. Let's get this going.
Katie McLean said tomorrow is the fifth day of Kwanzaa. If you can tell us what that day is, we can wish
Wow.
everybody the right name of the day. Because off the top of my head, I don't know. Because I'm, you know. And last but
My
absolutely
Kwanzaa.
not least, Mr. L.
What's going on, everybody? I am Mr. L, the host from the Mind of Mr. L podcast, where we discuss topics revolving around sex, kinks, life, relationships, all of that good stuff. Um, you can come listen or come while you listen. But as always, I'm the compassionate Dom, sensual sadist, Southern gem with a sprinkle of filth, Mr. L.
All right. Um. So before you guys know who I am. Anyways, so Mr. L is a little bit under the weather. I know Val. Val's always like, you never do your thing, right? Like okay. So I am AJ Badass Jones, host of the Pum Pum Chronicles podcast. I also have a personal page, badass_Jones_. I am the podcast is about sex, love, relationships, and all manners of smuttiness from a Jamaican Canadian perspective. You get a little patois, you get a little twanging, a little bit of English and thing. Okay, Val, is that good? Can I
appreciate that?
Yeah, I'm with that. You better put some respect on your name, AJ.
Yep.
So I want to thank each of you. As I said before, this is our last hey Dave Royalty, what's going on, Queen? This is our last live of the year. We are 6 months in to being Three Guys and a Girl. I have a special year-end episode coming out featuring the guys. And that will be the last podcast of the year. Really excited for that. And it's really funny because I ended the year with you guys the way that I started, the way that we started, right? So our very first podcast recording, all kinds of technical difficulties 6 months ago. 6 months later, we're an actually fully formed group. And it was weird because 6 months ago, we had just met. And here we are 6 months later, a cohesive, well-functioning team like we've always been together. So I thought it was really poignant and really dope for us to have that conversation. But 6 months later, the perspectives are a little bit different. Like I said, we're definitely a much more cohesive group because we had just met, and the relationship and the bonds that have formed between us collectively, individually, and then as groups. So like the three of you guys have formed a really tight, which is absolutely beautiful because I think that men need the support of good men in order to help them become better men themselves. So
Absolutely.
you guys, yeah, it's good. Okay, so the 5th day is Nia. It is purpose. I can't even pronounce that other stuff, but happy Nia. Nia is the 5th day of Kwanzaa for anyone celebrating Kwanzaa. And season's greetings and happy holidays overall. So we're gonna talk a bunch of shit. Okay, so one of the things that Mr. L said is that I always ask the questions, and so we wanted to, at some point for me to be more in the hot seat, which I'm okay with. I don't mind,
Well,
so
in the
new
guys, just
Are we
to
doing
give
that
you more
tonight?
of an insight. No. This is going to be a planned live.
Yeah, don't
no,
sidebar.
she's not
She
going
trying
no,
to
I'm
no.
just saying. I'm just saying.
So what I said exactly was that one of us fellas, or actually we'll all take turns hosting a live,
Yeah.
and therefore AJ has no option but to answer and in depthly because she will
Y'all
not
say
be
that like I don't answer
hosting.
stuff.
You don't. You
Nah,
dodge a lot of things.
you be dodging and evading.
You dodge a lot, just like you just tried to,
I
to dodge
don't
that.
even like this right now. This is just unfair.
Nah, that was some premeditate. She opened up with that, like, if y'all wanted to know. She tried to say, "Hey, they're gonna be answering you questions tonight." Like, nah, we gotta think about this shit.
Like she just tried to
Nah.
dodge that. Exactly.
We gotta collaborate. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The three of us gotta get together.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, we need to melt in the mind.
I can do that. I mean,
We're not gonna
we know you
questions
can.
but not
either.
tonight. Not
you
tonight.
We're not ready. And AJ,
So-
you set the bar. You set the bar with our honesty. So
Yeah.
expect the
Yeah, I
same.
feel like you guys are gonna ask me the caliber of questions that I ask y'all, and I'm concerned about that. I'm just letting you know. A little bit worried.
Reciprocity.
Yes. Everyone likes that idea because people are like, we'd like for you to talk a little bit more, but I'm not, everybody knows who I am. So I want them to know.
That I get, people want to hear a lot more from you. So
From me?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard
Although
that
it's three guys and a girl, or like you said earlier, three men and people want the one woman and three men show.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's not today. So
Nah, not tonight.
Okay.
In 2022.
So before we get started, because I have a heavy question. It's a sexual question, but it's a heavy question right out the gate. But before we do that, is there anything that you want to ask? Anything that you want to say? Right now? Anybody? No? Okay, excellent. So
I will, just because you touched on it for a second. Yeah, guys, I am not feeling my best right now. Yeah, there's a possibility I'm going to get my test done tomorrow morning.
Don't say it. It's going to be negative.
That's what we're praying for. We're putting it out there in the atmosphere. So yeah, if y'all start to see me sweat a little bit, that's all that is. The moisture is coming. Me nervous
We'll,
on
we'll
this
be worried when
platform.
it starts running down your face. If you're perspiring a little bit, we'll just think that like the questions are exciting you a little bit. But if it's okay,
Sure,
we'll take time with you.
we'll go with that.
So, what is from a purely heterosexual standpoint? We'll preface it by saying that. What is the male sexual position of power? Does that question make sense?
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Okay.
does.
What is so for the man to be in complete control of the woman and have her body away and to, get her to what is the position of power?
You gotta be one position.
Sorry, what?
You gotta be one position. You gotta be one position.
Oh, no. Speak freely. Come on. This is a free space. Speak freely. So for your sexual repertoire, what would you consider to be your position of okay, we'll change it. Your position of power, but then a general, do you think that there is a general male position of power?
So I'll go ahead and start this one. So I think the consensus would probably be doggy because I
Okay.
think that allows a man to exert his power per se, like within the strokes, grabbing, going as hard as he wants to, as deep as he would like to, grabbing here, grabbing there, smacking here. So I think that the consensus would be doggy.
Okay.
For myself though,
Yes.
missionary.
He said all that.
Because then,
He said for myself.
for me and my house is gonna be missionary because
When you meet your
for
numbers,
me it's an over like I can be empowered there like physically, but also when I start talking, if I'm like close to it or something like that, then I can go ahead and stimulate that mental as well by the shit that I'm saying when I'm talking to it. So therefore, I'm not only just in control physically, because like even then, like physically being in control in that position, I got her legs bent back over her head, my body laying on top of her, and she can't go anywhere. She's in a submission. It's like a submission move, basically,
Okay.
And so I'm right there, and once again, I'm controlling the strokes and the power and everything. And so once I have that physical control, or that's when the mental just start saying whatever, the certain glances, using
Right.
my
That eye
lip,
to eye contact.
using my lips, whether it can be kissing, or biting, whatever. So yeah, it'd be missionary for myself.
Who's got next?
I'll take next. So, how should I say this? I believe in priming the pussy.
Sorry, you believe in who?
Priming. You know how you prime a wall before you
Priming.
paint? Yeah, before you paint it. You know what I mean? How you prime a wall before you paint it?
You got to get it ready. Put that first layer on there.
You got that first layer on there. So I believe the first layer is very, very important. Thank you, Mr. Y'all some real niggas, yo.
I like that.
Yeah, we like that.
The
Vibe.
first layer.
You got to put the first layer on, right? And then,
Okay.
I mean, if I'm just a certain dominant, let's say I'm angry, then back shots, like you said, I could choke you.
No, not angry. Not
what
angry.
You're talking about then. You said dominance, like.
Yeah, dominance, like the position of power, but not from a place of anger.
Oh, I thought you meant like.
No, I didn't say, sir, I didn't say abuse. Love.
He
A
said
position of
about
love.
smacking. He said smacking.
Love dominance.
Oh, I thought he meant, yeah, then probably get missionary. I can get deeper. I can scoop up and get up beneath you. You know that bottom you was talking about? That you said I should stay away from?
Don't hit the bottom. Listen to me. I'm just going to say from personal experience with a lot of the women that I've talked to, when a man hits the bottom, and I told you guys about this before, tech time when you're knocking out the bottom, it makes people crazy. It makes people crazy.
Look at my face. I'm hitting the bottom.
I just know when police are coming to your house, like how I've warned you several times, you can't call and say, hey, yo, AJ, you got bail money? Or like, AJ, my car got smacked.
That's no problem.
No, I understand what Slim is saying because like it's I have to still find a balance. I don't know when, like, how am I supposed to just stop before I get to the door? Like, Just
I'm not even saying to stop. You can knock on the door, but you know, like when you knock on the door and you step away from the door to see who's going to open the door because you're not sure who's going to open the door. Listen
nah,
to
I
me.
know
One
who's gonna
time
open the
you
door.
knock on that
I know
door
who's gonna
and
be
If
there.
her
I'm
beast
knocking on the
comes to
door, I
the.
know who's gonna open the door.
Wanna
Hey,
go on, wanna
thank
go
you.
on ramp with people and find out. Wanna
She
go,
just
yeah,
need to
yeah,
get
go find out.
she need
Watch.
to get her a Ring doorbell
Yeah,
then, so that way
yeah,
she can
word,
see when
word.
so
You
that
just
way I
so
ain't gotta
funny.
knock no
Really?
door.
Really?
You know,
Really?
Facts,
she need to take some
facts,
accountability for herself and get that Ring
facts,
doorbell,
facts. I'm
so
with
that
you.
way I can
I'm
just
with you. Get
ding
a
it
ring.
and then
Get a ring, dude. Get a ring. I like that because I'm knocking. But you gotta
Do you see
protect
my face?
yourself. Protect yourself, dude. Protect yourself. But I'm knocking.
Well, I don't have to worry about that knocking because I know who's gonna open the damn door.
Hey, this is them Val.
Val said
Hey,
I'm coming through banging through the
Val,
door.
Val's out here stunting on us and bragging about he knows who's gonna answer the
Word.
damn door. Val's
All
out
right,
here
Val.
stunting on people. It's okay, Val. It's all right,
All right,
Val.
Nah,
Val.
nah, nah. That's
You
gonna
know,
be
you
me
Val
got
said
all day
your
too.
every
you got
time
your
it's gonna be
queen,
the
bro. You
same
got your
person.
queen. You
Mm.
dig it? You
Anyways,
got your queen.
anyways. Uh, to answer the question, and I think it's both for me. Just the universal position of power, and my preference is missionary. And somebody had bow with the gigantic. I'm not flexing at all.
You see,
That was
Queen said
funny.
represent,
Nah,
baby. That's right. Represent for the team.
that was
Hey.
funny. But nah, somebody had said earlier, and Mr. L touched on it too. Eye contact is powerful, especially with the right person. And I'm
Yes.
I'm not just coming from the perspective of being married or anything like that. Even prior relationships, things of that nature. There's just something about having the eye contact with the correct person that sometimes you're not even trying to get to the door, but you're gonna
Yes.
end up there anyway. And it's all because of that eye contact, that connection that you guys
Mm.
make.
Yes.
Then when you get through the door, it's just boom. I got no word to describe it. I don't know. It's just boom.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
just
it for
want to
me.
say, and then Roach, you never see nobody's eyes like yours, though. I just want to
Hey,
put that out there.
Right?
Yeah,
hey.
your eyes are the best.
Do you think that so for you, for each of you, is there, and maybe you're going to give up your secrets, but somebody may want to know because they're trying to get to you or trying to except for Val, because nobody's allowed to go there because you'll get killed. Um, I'm just saying. For each of you, is there a position of power that a woman could exercise with you where she would have total submission from you?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch. Hell yeah.
Okay, come. What is it? What is it? Hello, we want to know.
I'm saying, like, shit, that's on her to decide, but as long as she ain't, listen, I'm open, yo. Just don't put your finger in my ass and I'm okay.
We're going back to that again.
I'm just saying. I'm pretty open.
Okay, but do you have a preferred, so for your woman to take control, do you have a preferred position or does it matter to you?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. I don't think
Mr. L?
That's a very interesting question.
It is.
Because I've always heard that a woman being on top is a man's weakness, but I don't necessarily know that that's true.
So I will say that I don't know. I
Sure.
don't think it would be like it has me in like they have control factor. There have been times where like when a woman has been on top, like I'll be right there,
Okay.
and I'm like, oh whoa, hey, let's slow down.
You're like, slow down there,
Um,
ma'am, please, and thanks.
exactly. Just because it feels good, the aesthetics of it looks good
Right.
and everything like that. I was gonna say like maybe head might be the other one, just because I really enjoy it, and especially if she knows what she's doing, and I can just really sit back and enjoy it, and like
She's
like we were just
listening.
talking about the knocking on the door, like
Yes.
there is a door in her throat that
Mm-hmm.
if she let
Mm-hmm.
my thing knock on it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm answering every single time, every single time. Like that is there's that feeling. I don't know, fellas, y'all can back me up here. Or Val, you married. I don't know if you want to go in
Yeah,
that realm, but
I go in that room.
Yeah, Val, we might leave
there's
you out of this particular one because no. I don't want to exclude you ever. Okay, yes, red flag. We're gonna leave that one alone. All right,
So
I
I'm
like
gonna
it.
so
I
I'm
like
gonna
it. I
take my
like it.
statement
so
back, Mr. L. You were absolutely right. It's
yeah.
somebody.
There's
Yeah.
there's that point you can feel it. I guess y'all can feel it too, AJ. You have to
Yeah,
tell me, but there's and
yeah,
you can it's like a pressure point. Like you just go past it and you're in another
yeah.
realm
It's
and
like
you're just
your eyes will roll back into your head because it's like, oh my god, like what threshold did I just
it's
pass? Like,
it's
It's like when you reach a
it's
next
just
level of
that
the video game, and you're like, oh my gosh, where's this? Like, what level is this?
yeah, it's that deep throating factor where like you
Yeah.
just feel the change in like
When you come up for air,
there's the back of the throat and then there's the deep throat, you know.
when she
So
come
when
up for
you
air, but she don't come off the dick.
Sorry, so
That's
someone
what
said
bothers me.
cowgirl, then spin around and do reverse cowgirl. No? Not
I
so
mean,
much?
aesthetics are nice, but you know.
Oh, we got a yes.
Aesthetics
We
are
got a
nice.
yes with the exclamation marks. Okay. We got a silent answer. You guys can read it. If you scroll, you'll see it. We'll just do the silent answer. Mr. L, you look like you're pondering that one heavily.
because the only like it in theory it sounds great, like
Yeah.
you know, but like it's got to be at the right moment, I guess. Because like if I'm really enjoying myself in that moment, and then she takes it to
Right.
herself, just like, oh, let me
You
just
don't want her
flip
to
over
break
and
the
do.
rhythm and then spin.
Yeah, like
Okay.
that's it. The breaking of the rhythm is the thing, and it's just like, all right,
Can I say something real quick about the rhythm
Absolutely.
aspect? I feel like, I guess for me, where I don't mind being like switching, you know what I mean, and playing a submissive role when it comes to a woman being dominant. However, you know, I'm not really, the position doesn't really matter to me because the rhythm is what's most important in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? And that rhythm could be me on top still, and we could still be doing missionary, but if we got the same rhythm. I didn't know what that was, and
All right,
scared the shit
everybody.
out of me when you picked her up.
hey, who's this that we got? Who's a special guest?
This is Artemis, better known as Catechus. On my personal page, you see her in my stories all the time. She's not actually my
That's
cat;
about
she's
it.
my daughter's cat, but we have a love relationship, and she always wants to come hang out. So
I ain't mean to cut you off, Slim, but that's about to be my new alias.
sorry,
now.
Slim.
I'm gonna have to retire Bartholomew and start going with Artemis.
Artemis is a good name.
That's good.
Artemis.
Artemis.
It
That
rolls
might
off
be
the
the
lips to me.
2022, the
Artemis.
2022 take-in. Sorry.
I just
Slim, sorry, we cut you off. We apologize.
That's all right. I'm still thinking about Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but it's all right, situation.
So the reverse cowgirl, you don't really
yeah.
care what the position is that she's in.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't really care about. Sorry, we got off track. I don't care about the position. It's all about like rhythm and chemistry, emotion. And shit,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? No, it doesn't.
But
really
so you wouldn't say that there's anything that's your, okay, so like, I know you guys always tell me talk personal things. So for me, I would say, being on my side. So I don't know if it's not to like actually envision me, but envision the position. So, okay, so let's say you're standing facing the bed and your lady is laying with her back to you, but she's on her side, and you kind of like, you put her into the CPR recovery position. Do you ever know what that is? Where you're on your side and you put your right leg. So if you're on your left side, you turn the person so their right leg is a little bit forward so they can't roll.
It's like
So
Kind of
are
like,
they?
right,
Y'all
kind
know-
of like a scissor
players-
position.
players, y'all know them brothers. Y'all know
That
what I mean,
position,
right? When she-
Yeah,
murderation,
so-
that position is like, for
She
me,
start-
that position, yeah, for me, so with being with someone, that would
That's 'cause
be
you be throwing
the
that
position
ass,
of
AJ.
power, right?
You be throwing that ass. You be throwing that ass back. I know it.
Right. So in those moments where I feel like, no, you're not going to rule my life right now, then I can fling it back on him. But then, you know what I mean? You have access to the breast, you have access to the ass, the thighs, the throat. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of like have a full scope. I feel like with backshot, you're kind of like, unless both of you are kind of flexible and depending on the height or the length of the person, like some parts of like you can maybe get to her shoulders, not like you kind of grip her throat, but not like a good grip. But I feel like in that side scissor position. Sorry?
Actually, there is a great way that you can get to the throat from
We're listening.
doggy or back shots. Oh, absolutely. One of my favorite things, especially in front of a mirror, right? Because then she can look at herself. But yeah, you can.
You see how Val's eyebrows went up? Val's like, do we have a mirror in the house?
You got to take that. You have to take that arm, fellas. Reach around there. You either grab the throat. If she got some hair and you need help to pull that hair back first, you know, she'll be all right.
About, that's when you put her ass back and then sitting up like this on you. You know what I mean? I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
run that one
doable,
again, Slim. Say that again.
That's when you can start on doggy and then bring the ass back up to you. You know what I'm saying? Just have it
Okay.
all the way back up to you. You know what I'm saying? So you almost like
that is
when
the back ain't even arched at that point. That back
is that's you sitting straight up. Yeah.
Yeah, like
you sitting straight up. That's my point.
Like I wish I could draw the shape. It's like
No, I
it's
think
like a
we get it.
J.
There's no
That's what
no
the
drawing to
It's
that's
report
it is
it look like
required.
a
shape.
J.
Oh,
Like the tail of a
Okay.
J. It like a backwards J. Which one is a J?
So she comes
Yeah.
upright.
yeah,
The back
yeah,
does. Yeah. So like
yeah,
literally,
yeah.
booty be right here.
Yep.
Her back
Okay.
just goes whoop,
And it's sitting right here. And you
and
got
you
all
got the
that
hair right here.
throat and titty. Yep, you got throat and titty, just like
Yup, you can't grab that too.
Okay. Different question. Would you prefer that your woman has one huge put her to sleep orgasm or short multiple bursts?
one
Does that
put
make
to
sense?
sleep.
Or one hit a quitter.
Well, yeah, one hit.
Or
I think I would.
um,
And
These are
many of
primarily sexually related questions. I'm just saying, Val, I'm kind of throwing you out there. If there's anything that you don't feel comfortable answering, we completely understand. It won't all be, but you know, we're gonna have an adult, grown conversation tonight.
I
A Dave
mean,
Royalty, I do apologize.
she know what she good. Like,
Okay,
You know
she know
what's
what
good.
she knows
I
what
was
she
just
getting
saying
in.
it
All
too,
right,
because
I'm
it'd
just
be
saying.
funny if this
she
whole
know where everybody
time.
heart is at.
Okay.
It'd be funny if this whole time she like hyping Val up, like answer something, babe, answer something. If Val been the one that's been like reserved.
Right. Let them know that you put it down, but you put in work over
Shit.
here. But would you prefer your partner be pleased with one just complete long big orgasm, completely tapped out, or multiple short orgasms? Or does it matter?
Oh,
It doesn't matter, but I'm always looking for the something to knock you out. So even if you do have those short multiple orgasms, I'm
Yes.
still going to try to get that one massive. Or I need you to squirt on my stomach. That's what I need. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah,
you said squirt?
yeah, squirt. Yes, yeah. I need you to let a puddle out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
We appreciate the Squirtle Squad over here.
definitely all day. So like if you the short little ones are cool and cute and shit, but you know
You're going in for that work.
I'm going in for the work. Yes.
Do you
Shout
consider
out to
that to be
Chase
your
Avery.
reward? Like if you can get her to squirt, is that your reward? Like would you consider like
Yeah.
you've done a really good
Yeah.
job?
Oh yeah,
Do
definitely.
you,
Definitely.
do you
I
feel like you haven't done such a good job if she doesn't squirt?
I feel like I could do better. I'm not doing something right. Yeah.
You said you feel like you could do better?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
That's
I like
fair.
that.
I agree with Slim on that one too.
Okay.
And to answer the question too, for me, I don't think it matters as much. It's all about how she feels about it, to be honest
Right.
with you. There's days that she's gonna want that one big boom, call it a day, and then there's days it's gonna be the multiple. So it doesn't matter to me as long as she feels good.
Okay. Mr. L?
I'm
One
going
biggie
to,
or multiples?
so for myself, one, it really doesn't matter. But if I had to, choose between the two, I'm gonna go with the multiples. Because uh, you can make her squirt in those multiple times. Squirting just doesn't mean it's that one big orgasm.
Right.
Although I do get exactly what the fellas are saying. That like if I can get you to squirt a few times, and especially me, y'all know me, I am a orgasm control or orgasm torture dude. So like if I know I can make you and you keep coming, that's like music to my ears right there. So I'm gonna keep digging. And like if she could get that same satisfaction out of one big orgasm that she could
Right.
get out of like 8 of the tiny ones
Okay.
and be sitting there like knocked out.
I just get pleasure out the fact that she can't move or be touched afterwards. You feel what I'm saying? Without, you know what I mean? I like that. I like that.
Okay.
And you can
Slim
still
had
talk some
that
shit.
Slim had that
and
knock
you
it
can-
down walk afterwards. Walk into the kitchen. Yeah.
She gotta go.
Yep.
If she not stumbling, going to the bathroom and shit, it's a problem. Like, I'm not a problem, but I just feel like
That's what you prefer. That's what you want to end it with. That's how she's supposed to be.
yeah, that's all.
I like the look afterwards. That like, what kind of devil are
Like,
you?
what the hell did you
Look
just do?
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that look.
Yeah.
That
Um,
look made me like that.
You like that look when you suck a nigga's soul out and he just
yeah, I like
hit
to
you
look straight.
afterwards.
I like to look straight in their eye to see it leaving.
Yeah, see it leaving. See the soul leaving. It happens.
Absolutely.
Leaving.
Oh my gosh, what was I gonna ask? I forgot.
Yeah, that nigga's fucking down.
Which one do you prefer, AJ?
Good one.
So
Do men let off multiple nuts like that? Y'all niggas letting off multiple nuts? Y'all some bad motherfuckers, yo.
All right,
I
so
don't think I don't think I'm capable of just having one unless I'm by myself.
mhm.
Like I can't think that okay, so it's either I don't have any because I'm not there, or it's just multiples. The only time I ever have like one really big intense one is when it's just me rolling solo dolo. Just saying. I don't know what. But Mr. L and I have had this conversation where my max was I stopped counting
Wow,
after 28.
I still don't get it.
You
I'm
busting
still
me
trying to figure out the
tolerated?
math.
Why? What do you mean? 28. 28 is when I stopped counting.
Within a
28?
how long is
Yeah,
the
how
time
long? What
span?
was the time span? Yeah, what's the time span?
This was over the course of I want to say 4 hours.
Damn,
Yes.
that's
So
four.
literally they were
Hold up.
just like once it started, they were back to back to back to back, take a
That's
pause,
Seven
and
per
that's
again
eight
hour?
and
times
again
an
and
hour.
again.
Yeah, about
8,
8 times an hour. But no, 8 times 4, 32. Right? No,
seven
Seven.
times.
7 times an
Yeah.
hour.
Are we mathing right now? Is that what's happening?
Yes, we
What?
are. We are.
Hell yeah, we was.
So you're counting the average of how many per hour?
Yep.
Yeah, trying
Yeah.
to get the
7.
standard
Now keep in
deviation.
mind, I stopped counting at 28. So I don't know how many more
Well, let's
there
do the math.
were.
How much longer did the session last after that period? Because we know you was at 7 hours. Excuse me,
I just
7
know
pops
the
an
only
hour.
thing that I
So
know is the mattress was soaked through from top to bottom down into the box spring.
that sounds amazing. I would pay to see that.
Y'all faces is like, damn.
I'm saying I'd pay to see that, guy. That's what I'm saying.
I think
Please
because I
put your
feel like
face
it's
the
one of
fucking
those things like
mattress.
where like for women who are multi-orgasmic, once that tap turns on, once her body's going, once she's warmed up, once the engine is revved up, it kind of doesn't turn off. So like if
I
you
got a
keep
question.
doing your thing from different positions, different angles, going down, coming back up for air, like and just sort of like doing a combination of things between your mouth, your fingers, your lips, and your dick, like
I got a question.
yes,
So
sir.
do all females have the ability to have multiple orgasms, or is it just
I do think that they
is it
do. So,
specific, or
so
do you
this
gotta
is
know
what I think.
yourself as long as you
Yeah,
know
so I think
yourself?
it's a couple of things. I think that there are women who don't spend enough time with their bodies because I think that there's still a taboo for some women about masturbation and about their personal pleasure.
Um,
And I think that it's difficult to teach someone how to please you when you don't know how to please yourself
Yourself.
and kind of expect them to
yes,
figure out
Preach
what's
on it.
happening with your body, right?
Preach on it.
agreed,
So,
agreed.
you know what I mean? It's one of those things where people have to learn to take the shame out of touching themselves. The only way you're going to be able to effectively teach someone how to please you is by knowing how to please yourself.
Mhm.
And I spent a lot of time with myself, not for lack of having a partner or anything, but I just really love my body and I like the orgasms that I am able to give myself because nobody can do for me like I do for me. But in doing that, I am able to teach my partners how to please me, but I can also assist them in pleasing me because and I'm gonna brag and toot my own horn right now because y'all say I don't talk enough, so I'm gonna say when it comes to kegels and quinting on the cocky head, listen to
Speak
me.
it.
If you don't
Speak it.
want problems, don't come around here, don't come over
Speak
here.
it.
All right.
So, gonna plug the podcast real quick because the last episode that I did with Miss Casey Polite from K Spot Therapy, who's a sex therapist, we actually talked about that. The
Yep.
episode is entitled "The Pleasure Pusher" because that's what she actually recommended when I asked the question along the lines of like, how can people, in general, help themselves to have like better sex. And one of her things was for women to one like learn more about your body and spend that time with yourself, pleasuring yourself, because then that helps you to know, what you like. And then for men, was she said to get the idea of, or get the notion that you have to perform out of your mind,
Right.
out of your head, because then that puts a lot of pressure on yourself to go in there and do something, and then
True.
it's not as enjoyable or
Yeah.
just something happens. So,
And like a Dave Royalty said for women, don't be afraid to speak up. You know what I mean? Like if it's So it's like if you know where your pleasure spot is and the person that you're with, I don't want to say he, assume, but the person that you're with touches that spot and that feels good to you, let them know. The thing is, like, you do yourself a disservice when you don't talk up, and you shouldn't feel embarrassed to talk up. There's nothing wrong with speaking up for yourself in terms of pleasure, but it all starts with you knowing your body. I also think too that, and no shaming to anybody, because I know people like different sizes and what have you, but I feel like women on a whole, heterosexual women, would receive more pleasure from heterosexual men if they learn to use their bodies along with their partner. So you have some women who feel like they can't achieve orgasm or have really great sex unless they're with someone who's like, 8.5, 9, 10, 12, 1,500 inches, which is absurd. Because if you know how to use your body, if you know how to use your inner workings, if you know how to use your muscles, if you know how to do Kegels, you will find that somebody with 6 inches will take you there just as effectively as someone with 10, where you're not actually helping to do anything.
Mhm. That's what I'm talking about. That rhythm.
And
That rhythm.
fellas, well, not y'all fellas, but just the fellas listening. Same thing goes for you with your penis and your penis size. If you know what
Yeah,
you're doing with it, your size does not matter. Learn how to work your thing, and then you good.
it's true. Because I've been with men of varying sizes, and I will tell you, like, having a 12-inch dick, it's pretty to look at, but man, I don't want all that shit. Are you crazy? I'm not trying to go to the hospital. Like, a little bit of pain is good. A little bit more pain is good. But really and truly, there's room for some stuff, but there's not enough room for no 12-inch nothing in there. Are you crazy? And then
She said
people
that's
say
not
things,
just knocking
but
on
you
the
get,
front door.
right, but
That's
you give
knocking through
birth
the
and
back
babies come
door as
out of there.
well.
They come in one fucking direction and it's not up, it's down and out. So I'm just saying.
No, 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 no.
See, this
I
is
made a
weird. I
joke
don't
at the
like
I
talking
made a
about
joke at
myself.
the
So
wrong
let's move
time.
on.
It's okay. It's okay.
Generic question, not sexually related. What is one thing that you hope becomes more socially acceptable and normalized in 2022?
Cannabis use.
Who?
Cannabis use.
Cannabis use. Okay. You don't think that that's already happening?
Not as fast as it should be.
You know what? I keep forgetting. I live in a different country. Like, I'm based in a different country, and here, like, you can stand outside and smoke and they can't tell you nothing.
Can you do that in North Carolina? I
Not
know you
yet.
do it in
It's on
Baltimore.
the way because they just legalized it in like Virginia last year. So
Mm.
like North Carolina doesn't like to be, little brother, little sister, or
So
whatever. So
the states individually are not all legalized? That's
no.
just wild to
It's
me.
not.
So
It's
Like,
changing
like
every
every,
day.
DC
yeah,
area, yeah, it's been legal for a minute.
okay. So right
Yeah,
here,
it's
right across Canada, it's legal from coast to coast.
nah,
Mm-hmm.
it's decided by the states here.
It's a
Like there
fucking
are states
retarded.
that like Oklahoma, Oklahoma is
I
legalized.
I heard
Like
people flying with it now, but I don't see how they're doing that because on the federal level, it's still illegal. So I don't know how they.
Right.
I don't think that's federal
mm,
air up there, so I don't know how they're doing it. But I hear that
but
you can fly with it.
North Carolina did just legalize like a certain amount. I forgot what the stipulations were. It was like a small amount for such and
Like an
such.
ounce,
But
probably.
it's gonna be something that is slowly, gradually gets there. But I do believe like within the next 2 years they'll have it legalized in in some capacity.
Okay. Mr. L, what is one thing that you hope becomes more socially acceptable and normalized in 2022?
Ooh,
Mhm.
dang, I was hoping you would Val with that one before you came
Okay.
in. Yeah,
Val?
You can pass it. You can pass it.
go ahead, Val.
Um, One of the things that I've noticed that's in my circle, in my realm, I've noticed that a lot of people are now just saying, "So I just spoke to my therapist, and that's only in my circle." So I know that individuals that are around our age, all of us included, it's beginning to be normalized, but I'm trying to reach the generation that's younger than us to make that normalized. Just having that random conversation, not having to be like, yeah, so I went to go see my therapist. Like, no, like that's a powerful thing. I went to go
Yeah.
see my therapist and we talked about this. You know, I want
Say
to
it
see
with
that
your whole chest
normalized.
and be proud that you did it, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's what I want to see.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
Cool.
Mr. L?
So I think for me it would be that people become more accepting of each other. Um,
Mm,
I think that would be the main thing, just all around, because I believe that if we accept people for who they are or try to learn and understand them, um, love them, all of that good stuff, the world will be a better place. And so I hope that that is something that that we see a lot more of in 2022.
Okay. Mine would be that we are more socially accepting of and normalize people's sexual preferences, and to not have biases and judgments in regards to people for what they like and what they prefer, as long as it doesn't involve children and pets or animals. Those two are off limits. But anything else, like what people let people like what they like without shaming them. Like, and another thing, this is going to be a really weird random one. Allowing women, not allowing, but creating safe space and normal spaces for women to grow their body hair in. Like, honestly, waxing and shaving, I just want to grow my armpit hair. I want to grow hair on my front. I want to grow hair on my legs and it not be a big deal. I'm just saying. Y'all are so deadly silent. Let's move on.
I'm shaking my head.
Your body, your choice, you know.
Yeah, who's stopping you from doing that? I don't never remember telling no lady like, "You're my lady," or "Show your underarms." I've never said that. I don't never remember saying that ever.
Okay, but what if she wants to grow in like all her vag hair? Then what? All her pom pom hair, she wants to grow it all in.
I've learned to live with it. Yeah, I've learned to live with it.
The only thing is that I would ask, and it's the same thing that I would, do it myself. Is just like, hey, just keep it well groomed or something, like,
That's
like,
fair.
let's do that. It's cool. Shoot, after I get done manscaping with my Manscaped products, maybe I come edge you up.
You'll help her trim the verge.
Listen,
trim up the bush and thing.
Listen, we'll have the whole landing strip going on. Play with me.
Yes.
I do realize. Sometimes I feel like pubes soak up the juices. Yeah, I don't like that.
You said you like that?
I don't like that.
You don't like that. So you prefer for her to not have so much hair?
Yeah, that's my preference. You know what I mean?
Okay. And yeah, like we said, I mean, normalizing, allowing people to choose what they want to choose and to not have. The thing is, I feel like there's something for everyone. There's something that everyone likes, and I feel like there's somebody for everyone who will be down with whatever they like. Like I remember I put up a picture where I had like weird, like stubble in the bikini area, and two different men commented and said that they would prefer for the hair to be grown in. So say they zoomed in, like they super zoomed in, because I was like, how are you that fast to see that there's even a little bit of hair there? But
that's creep vibes. That's creep vibes.
Yeah, they zoomed in on the pom pom. Mr. L, you were gonna say something?
I don't even remember what it was I was gonna say.
Preferences: rough sex or making love?
Making love.
You have to pick one. It can't be situational. It depends. There's no depends. You can only pick one. I know Slim's gonna be like, well, it depends. No depending.
He's already thinking about it.
There's no depend in this one. You can only pick one: rough sex or making love.
Making love.
Really? You're such a romantic. I feel like you're like a thug, but you're like right, like romantic. Mr. L, I feel like I can guess yours, but I don't want to be wrong, so I'm not going to guess. Mr. L?
Ooh, go ahead and guess.
I was going to say making love.
You would be correct.
Really?
So, yeah, I had to think about it for a second. So I'm like, dang, like, can I still show or, like, count choking into making love somehow? Or
so
that would fall under rough sex, sir.
No, not necessarily.
So what? If you grab the throat gently, like you don't squeeze, you kind of rest it there?
It could be something gentle.
You could just, song was something like, when I grab your neck, I touch your soul, or something like that. It was on the 808s and Heartbreak album.
Yep.
He did say that right now.
Yep.
So S. Marie said making love with a mix of roughness.
But AJ said we couldn't mix it though, because me.
She said we could. She said they couldn't mix it, Mr. L.
Mr. L sprinkle.
You can't mix it. There's no sprinkling. No, there's no sprinkling. That's with that. No sprinkling.
But
one
I'm
or the other.
Passionate love making.
No, why? Because you got the rhythm that come in with that, and that'll make up for the roughness. I feel like. I mean,
Oh, okay.
The
I mean, I
rhythm,
feel that.
the rhythm that makes
Yeah,
up for the
yeah,
roughness. Is that what you said?
yeah. Man,
I
that
like that.
rhyme,
That
man,
could be a
that
bar in a
rhyme.
song. That's lyrics.
Oh, like that. You like that, right?
So then at what point does it stop? At
Let's go
what
there.
point does it become just rough sex?
I think when
When I go
everything
there.
is like aggression filled,
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
When I start spitting
Okay.
in your mouth.
yeah, I think that's when it becomes just
Sorry,
strictly
what?
rough.
When you start spitting in your mouth, that's when they start getting pretty rough.
Slim, I feel
No,
like we need
I
to
can
have
do
like a
that when it's rough.
conversation because,
Hold on.
you know,
Wait.
I
Time out. I
don't
can
even
do that with
understand what's
making
going
love.
on right now.
That doesn't. I wouldn't count that as rough because I
I
can.
mean, that's what
Nah. I'm not
So then
sitting there,
what would you, so Mr. L, for you, what would you
chalking up.
consider to be more on the rough side?
nah.
Hmm.
I drool in your mouth, but making love, but spitting in your
So,
mouth, nah.
so I agree with Slim when it comes like the rhythm. Is definitely the
Okay.
rhythm. When that rhythm is, and it's more along the lines of like just
I
straight
call
power.
chemistry.
Like I
Y'all
said,
say y'all
power
want
and
Ah,
aggression
chemistry.
to me is what makes it rough. Of course, like you got your love taps on the face. Yes, choking, the smacking, spankings, all of that. But like even then, it's like
That's on the
levels
side of
to
rough.
it. Yeah, but like I said, it's kind of like the rhythm. It's like the
Okay.
strokes. You can have some nice, passionate strokes, or you can
Right.
have those. Thank you, Val. Thank you, Val. My boy
Val!
Val coming through for me. And that's
I got you.
Val with the sex sound effects for the win.
thank you, Val. Thank you. Boy caught it.
Yo,
When
that
he
shit's
started
going in the
doing that
clip, yo.
first, I was like, yo, he gotta come through with me for the second part. He got to,
Yep.
and he's my boy.
Okay.
But just like Val demonstrated there, that's the same thing with like the strokes with the ass smacking. Like you can
Right.
have like a nice little, or you can have
Okay.
um when there's constantly like I said, it boils down to the level of aggression. Like you throwing them up against the wall or pinned up against the wall, pinned down, this, that, or the other. Grabbing the arm, pulling it behind the back, just yeah, it's levels to it.
Okay.
It's hard to describe.
I feel like everybody's judging us in these comments right now. I just want to say that.
Then,
Are they?
I feel like
That's fine.
everybody's judging us in these comments. It's
Wouldn't be
okay.
the first time.
so Val, I have a question specifically for you.
Sure.
More so related to men that you've counseled, men that you've spoken with, men that you've conversed with. Do you think that men are more demisexual than women? Or are women more demisexual than men by nature?
When you say demisexual, because I just want to understand the context.
Yeah,
What
no,
exactly does that mean?
absolutely. So when a
Mhm.
person is demisexual, they need to have an emotional connection with someone before they can have sex with that person.
Okay. Okay.
So from your
So
experiences and individuals that you've counseled, individuals that you've spoken to, do you find that men are more demisexual? And Slim and Mr. L absolutely weigh in. But I just wanted to throw this one to Val first. Do you think that women are more demisexual from your experiences, or do you think that men are more demisexual?
from my experience, I think that the women are more demisexual. I feel
Okay.
like when women are more prone to want to have some kind of that connection with that individual first.
Right.
Men kind of are like, I suck saying this, but sometimes they're like dogs sometimes, just
Savages. We'll say savages.
good word, savage. Sorry,
Okay.
Slim. But
He's
but
genuine.
uh,
We
where
lost
Mr. L
Mr.
go?
L.
He's
It's
coming
coming
back.
back. It's all
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I've noticed in my sessions, and I wish that there were more men that were like that. To be honest with you, because I feel like that's gonna change their whole game.
Yes.
Period. Because women love that. Women absolutely love, most women. I can't say that. Most
Right.
women absolutely love that. Um, it just changes the game physically, emotionally, sexually.
Okay. Do you feel that men feel like they can't go to that place of being super emotional because they are expected to be more hardcore and tough, especially when it comes to sex?
Absolutely, 100%. Because there's still men
Okay.
out there that still live with the old guard. I gotta be hard. I can't show emotions. I can't show
Right.
feelings. Even when it comes to that emotional, you guys are having sex. It's just weird to me. I find myself like getting flustered because I'm just like I don't understand the thought process sometimes.
Right.
We're in this new age. Like why not spend more time and instead of worrying about your ego and all that stuff? Why don't you spend more time trying to please the girl that you're trying to keep around for the long time? that you want to be with, things of that nature. Because
that.
just that one switch, you know,
Man, you ain't
people
get
might
paid
not
for this
think it's
shit,
a
bro.
big switch, but that's a big ass switch, and
Yes.
that's gonna just let off a whole different bunch of emotions that you probably never seen in a female because of your mind frame.
Okay. Slim, Mr. L, do you think that women are more demisexual from your experiences and individuals that you've spoken to, or are men more demisexual?
Can you repeat what you meant by demisexual? Because I was trying to read the judgmental comments and
Oh,
I
okay.
accidentally closed out the live.
So no, so it's basically that you need, because we had this conversation about in some instances you need to have an emotional connection with the individual, not just like a camaraderie type, but like an emotional connection where you really care about the person before you're able to be intimate with the person. So
Oh, well
do you
then,
think that that applies more to men or more to women? Are women more demisexual by nature than men, or the other way around?
absolutely. I think because I think for a lot of women, emotions. I think we said that emotions can be tied into their vagina, and that what we said somewhere around there, right?
Carry their feelings in
Um,
their pom pom.
there we go. And I do know, like, just even even if like a woman was gonna give it up to you, say I think I've heard the term like they know within the first like couple minutes, like
Yes.
if but even then, just because they know in that moment, they still gonna wait some time to kind of
Right.
build that relation rapport with you before they just throw it out there. Men, on the other hand, nah, for majority of men, they just ready to knock something down. There doesn't have to be an emotional tie to it.
Right.
They just want to get a dick wet, basically. And like Val said, like the old guard, that's what they're going with. It's just like, oh, I
Right.
gotta be, don't show emotion. I'm a man. I need to be here. I need to knock anything down, moving. Um, to a lot of men, it's about numbers, versus like the emotional thing in that point. So it's like, yo, how many numbers can I get? So then when I go brag to my boys about it, like, yo, I smashed this chick, or I got this many bodies under it, and it's So
Right.
I would say definitely women.
Okay. Slim?
I'm gonna agree. I think it's definitely a woman for all of those reasons that both of them said.
You have to talk up, my friend. We can't hear you.
Excuse me.
Hey man, it's not the quiet storm. This is three guys and a girl here.
Right?
You got on the sexy, slim voice.
I talk like this. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Are you buffering?
Y'all got me? No, you got me? No.
You buffering a little bit.
No.
Yep, there you are.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely women, 100% for everything that they just said. Basically, same thing. I think women are more emotional. Emotions are tied to their vaginas. We are just physical. You can rub a man like this right here, and it's fine. And
On the
good to
elbow?
go.
Is that what
Yeah.
gets you going? Rub the elbow and it's up?
I'm just saying, not me, but I'm sure there's a man out there it'll work for. So
Now, I will say, and Slim is probably like-minded, and Val as well. But like now, if you my person, I rock with you, and my emotions are attached, and you rub my elbow like that, it doesn't matter. Just a glance at you, get my dick hard. It doesn't matter at that point.
Okay.
yeah, that's my point. I concur.
hmm But for the regular Negro,
Yeah.
unlike us,
For the
a woman
average
can
man.
brush it.
Unlike the three of you.
Yeah, a woman can just rub a woman can just like touch their back walking by, and then boing, oh yeah, she wants me.
Really?
Yeah, she will.
But
Yeah,
that's if you're emotionally connected to her.
no,
Or just in general.
no,
in general.
No, in
Especially
Okay.
the men
general.
who aren't used to getting touched like that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
hmm
There you go, player.
Okay.
There it is, right there.
So they'll take that as like a sign, or it just turns,
If you're my lady, I'm gonna be on you. Like I said, I think we said this in our first episode. Like, I want you to. I'm gonna be on you. Like, you know what I mean? Physical touch is my love language. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and it could be any type of physical touch. You know what I mean? It could be like he said, a brush up or whatever. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
you just.
I think there's a
yeah.
certain way that
Unfortunately,
some. Oh, go ahead.
nah, Val, you got it.
Well, I was just gonna quickly say, I think there's a certain way that some females know how to touch a man to get him there. especially when they add the eye contact. See, look at AJ. See.
Sorry, what?
Wasn't expecting that, Val.
I like being a terrorist in people's lives. I like exposing them to things that they've never experienced before. Even if it's somebody that I don't end up being with, I feel like it's like exposing them to something that they've never experienced before, so that when they're with the next person, they can have that experience with the person. I don't know, like I'm at this point in my life, I'm about teaching people and helping people with their exploration. And I feel like part of it has to do with me, and then part of it is kind of like imparting wisdom on them so they can go out into the world and provide pleasure in the right way. I got cussed once before from some of my girlfriends. They'd be like, oh, if the person's not good in bed, you should let them know. I don't feel like kicking somebody when they're down. I'll have a conversation with you to let you know that, hey, this was okay. Maybe you could have improved on this. But I also believe in, letting the person know while we're in the throes of it. But I believe in imparting sexual wisdom on people that I've been with, so that when they go out into the world, like I'm sending off children, that when they go out into the world, that there's a skill that they've learned that they didn't have before, that they can explore and experience with somebody else. Yes, Mr. L.
So, a couple things. I feel you, because I'm the same way. Usually it's like you got 3 times. After that third time, because like if not much has changed, then it's going to be like I'm not going to really be able to enjoy myself.
Right.
So if I'm not enjoying myself, then I'm out. But I also used to kind of do that as well, in a sense of more like I would have sex with a woman to show her that the pleasure that she is looking for is out there.
Yes.
And like then maybe, hey, what I just gave you is a glimpse to let you know, hey, it is out there. This is
And you
just
can
to
ask
show
for
you.
it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It might not be for me again, but now you get to see that it's out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on what Mr. L said too, and a little bit of what you said too, AJ, I think that conversation is so powerful. People are so embarrassed to have it. Like, if the sexual experience was not up to par for one of you guys, have that conversation. Like, this is what I
Yeah.
think that you could have done better. And don't feel like, especially men, don't feel like that's a hit to your ego. No, you take that, you put that into your arsenal, you use that next time and wow her world, Like,
Yeah,
I
that
Absolutely.
take a different state of man. That take a different type of man, like a higher level of thinking. You know what I mean? I think
Right, because not every,
it's
and not
long
even just
lasting.
men, not every person can
Yes.
appreciate constructive feedback when it comes to their sex. Not just
Yes.
men, but just people on a whole. People take that shit real personal, especially if they've been with somebody who was like, oh my God, you were like the best, you were so fantastic. Then they get somebody else, and the person's like, okay, like it was all right. You could improve on these areas. Like, and then they get in their feelings. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the last person I was with had no problem with anything. Okay, but I'm not the last person that you were with. My needs are not like the last person that you were with. My desires and my body are not like the last person that you were with. So you can't assume that everything that you did with that person is going to work on me or anybody else. I feel like there are some things that are universal. So like when you're giving head, I feel like there are some things that are universal. Suck the head, stroke the shaft, and then kind of find out what else he likes, because some men like having their balls played with, some don't. Some like having their gooch licked and sucked on, some don't. Some like, having their ass played with, some don't. Some only like the head, some only like, it varies, you know what I mean? There are some things that are commonplace, but then there are other things that you have to learn.
Yep. Gotta
It's
have that
me. I'm
conversation.
some, by the way.
I'm sorry, what?
You kept saying something like this and something like that, and so
I know
I was
you're
just
like
like,
me over
yeah. I'm
here,
some.
right
Yeah, let's
here.
do it. Yep. But no, definitely, like that's a thing that men have to get out. Well, people in general, but
Yeah.
men especially, we got to get out of our mind. Because like I remember one time, one chick told me like, "Yo, you talk too much," during sex, and I was like, she was like, it wasn't bad. She was like, yeah, everything was great, but you talked a little too much. And I was just like, oh, usually
So she wants
women like
silent
that.
sex? I can't.
I was so it
He
wasn't
was giving
silent. So like I was trying to map it out in my head. So like the next time I was like, okay, like counting in my head, like maybe every 5 minutes I'll say something. Then like, all right, and then
But then
I
that should
limited it
often
like three or
it's
four
not
words.
authentic, because you're thinking so hard about not
Uh,
doing what comes natural to you.
You have to say something. Are you compelled to say something during sex? You can't not. You can't just shut the fuck up.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, you.
I'm gonna talk my shit. You
I'm
said
saying,
something.
Thank
because
you.
I'm saying,
Because
because
this.
I'm saying,
Wish
I'm
somebody
just
would
saying.
tell me to stop talking.
No,
I
no, I'm
No, so
wish.
saying,
it
yeah,
wasn't
I'm
to
just saying,
stop
like,
talking. It was just
it's
like
just,
Talk
less
less.
because as people have told me, like my voice can be whatever it is to them that it is, but
are
just
you
to her,
funny,
like
bro?
that wasn't her thing for whatever reason.
So, like, were you reciting a soliloquy like you were talking too much? Like,
No, I
what the
wasn't
hell?
sitting
Yeah,
there
that's what I'm
like
trying to
reading my
say.
dissertation.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm asking. Like, how fucking much were you
That's what
talking?
he,
So,
that's what
not
he's
that
saying.
much. Not a
Yeah,
lot.
short story.
Yeah, I was
okay.
reading Harry Potter book to her while I was.
That's what I'm saying. If you were reciting like you were reading a book to her or some shit. Okay, so it's gonna
Nah.
time us out in like 10
Ah,
seconds. So I'm gonna log out. We're gonna come back and wrap up our last half hour. Okay?
Cool.
everybody come
We'll
back.
be back. Yes,
Come
please and
back.
thank you. We're gonna finish the discussion. All right, we'll see you shortly.